The Executive Committee of the Forum of Parliaments of the International Conference on the Great Lakes region have concluded their two-day session in Nairobi, where they met and discussed issues pertaining peace, security and humanitarian situation within the Great Lakes region. The first Deputy Speaker of South Sudan was the President of the Executive Committee, and he emphasized the need for the member states to desist anything to do with imperialism.
The need to fully realize our social, political and economic independence. The necessity to repel negative geopolitics of plunder and exploitation of our resources, and repel imperialism from the region. Our region cannot be used as a theater for political, social and economic exploitation and proxy wars.
Another matter brought to the attention of the committee was that of the 8 soldiers from South Africa attached to the UN peacekeeping mission who were accused of sexual offenses.
The soldiers were repatriated back to South Africa, and there's a team that has been set up by the South African government to investigate, and definitely we do believe that once they investigate, then they will be able to establish the facts. Our request as a region is that once facts have been established, it is better to get as a feedback so that we know what steps have been taken. It may help in curtailing the practice in future with other peacekeepers, because if they know their repercussions, then they may not engage in such acts that are contrary to what they are supposed to do.
For quite a long time, the Sudanese government has not been sending representatives to be part of the forum meetings. And this is because of the conflict that escalated, especially in Khartoum, that has led to more than 1 million people to flee and also hundreds killed in a conflict between rebels and government forces.
Because the conflict has been happening there since April through military means, but up to now there's no solution, and we do believe that the only way out is negotiation, because conflicts breeds conflict, and there's no way that that issue can be solved. Right now, there are different mechanisms that are being undertaken that is aimed at resolving that, and we would encourage them to make sure that they participate in them.
Critics say that the negotiations are taking quite too long at the expense of people's lives.
So when you are negotiating, it's something that takes time, but we do believe that with concerted efforts from the international community and other stakeholders, a final solution should be found for the Sudan.
As the Congolese government gears towards holding their general election slated for December 2023, all parties involved in the politics have been warned against using settlements that could escalate the situation or bring tension within DRC.
We already know there's tension in Eastern DRC, so they should avoid situations that may create more tensions, but focus on issues that will bring benefit to the people of DRC.
It will now be a waiting game to see whether the recommendations and the resolutions that have been adopted during this forum, especially to do with peace within Eastern DRC, the Sudan conflict, and also the Central African Republic crisis, are going to be considered by the different heads of states, especially from the 12 member states that make up the Great Lakes region. Sudhir Byaruhanga, NTV, Nairobi.